Probably the hardest part of being a risk manager is the need to be forward-thinking. Because risks are always changing. Exposures to loss are always changing. The world around us is changing. One of the most important elements in the risk management process is, first of all, to analyze and gather the information about what exposures to loss is my company subject to. And then once a risk management program is in place, is the feedback to that. Constantly analyzing how well is our risk management program performing. Is it doing what we want it to do? Is it protecting us the right ways? And tinkering with it or tailoring it from there to continuously improve it. Risk managers today, the world is changing faster than it's ever changed before. It keeps speeding up. We keep having new exposures to loss. Risk managers need to keep analyzing these and adopt their programs accordingly. One of the most challenging areas I believe they need to look at are their information networks, their information systems, and their computer networks. Computer systems have changed drastically over time, if you think about just the last 10 years, and how important they are to companies today. But I think a lot of risk managers have ignored that as an area, and they focused on the traditional, what they're comfortable with, the property insurance, the automobile insurance, the workers' compensation. They've left the information technology systems to the CIO, the Chief Information Officer, to worry about, and they haven't really gotten involved. But the Chief Information Officer doesn't understand risk management as a science. They understand the science of operating an information network, and they may not always be aware of the different ways to hedge risk and to protect the company against risk. So I really think risk managers can add a lot of value by teaming up with the Chief Information Officer and working together to provide better ways to protect the organization from losses involving the information network. One of the things risk managers need to think about is, or should think about, is the unstable legal environment around information security and data protection. We really, in this country, we've made a lot of progress toward protecting people's personal, non-public information. But there's still not a clear legal standard of what companies need to do to protect that information and to protect people from other things, such as becoming victims of identity theft. That unstable legal environment is very difficult for two reasons. One is you're probably dealing with very expensive defense costs should somebody make a claim against you. Because these issues have not been litigated in the courts, there's a lot more time that attorneys need to spend in researching these issues, preparing filings, and then litigating these things in court before a judge. So a judge can go through what I'll call the heavy legal lifting of making a decision. And after that, you've got to consider the whole appeals process, because one side or the other is likely to be unhappy with the decision, and they're going to go off and try to get an appellate court to see it their way. So the litigation factor can be very difficult, and it's much different than, say, a slip and fall claim, where with a slip and fall claim, somebody falls, but it's been litigated so many times before in the past that everybody pretty much knows that a 40-year-old woman slipping, breaking her hip is worth this amount of money within a range. We're not there yet in terms of data security and responsibilities for protecting people's personally identifiable information. And that makes this a very difficult area to understand what your loss cost will be and to plan a risk management program around that cost. Information exists throughout the organization. It's stored in a lot of different areas. It's kept in paper records. It's kept in databases. It may be kept in multiple databases or multiple applications within the computer system. All these records, all this information, sooner or later something's going to happen. There's going to be a mistake, and this information is going to be released.